Come back to the back. Y'all give us some love. So, she talked about being part of the pastoral ministry team. She did some preaching of it.
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and let her come on down. You are representative of many in this congregation who have a heart for the pastor and a heart for the Lord and His work and everything that you do. And you know, I appreciate your enthusiasm, your excitement, but most of all, what I appreciate is your real. Amen. And
persistent.
And persistent. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I want to let you know, for me, from the bottom of my heart, that I appreciate you, not because of any gift or anything, just your spirit encourages me. It does, and it gives another reason why we do what we do. So, and I've seen tremendous change occur in your life, and that's what ministry is all about. It's not change. So I want to say thank you for all that you do and all of that. And I'll give this party some love. And to all of you, Diakonos, I want to say thank you for all your support, all down through the years. You have been here with us from the beginning, and just as a family for myself, being a pastor is a labor of love. It's no different from any other vocation in regards to when you have to work and serve people. I think the most challenging thing is that God holds you on a different line. And there is a level of responsibility that you have that nobody else shares. You are all alone in that regard. And no matter how much people love you, they can't do anything about that. And I wish God would mature us, then call us, but He doesn't work like that. So just the same way you have become a believer and mature, we have to do the same thing. And it's very difficult, at times. And there are times where you just, throw your hands up, but God won't let you. You have an assignment that God has given you. I think that is very different. But you don't have to be loved. So I appreciate you guys on how you love. And I appreciate anything you do, but I want you to know the way I am. A hug, a handshake, a hello, a how you doing, all those things are priceless to me. Because you are on the front line against the enemy as a pastor. And oftentimes in the midst of every struggle, you don't know everybody's struggle, but one of the things that's difficult is you can share yours. It's hard for me to share mine.
Exactly.
And I know this past summer and this fall when I had to leave, we've gone through tremendous tests. But I had to do what I did because I had to save myself. When you get to where, and I'm not talking about church, I'm talking about work, when you can't function as a person, okay, and to continue to push yourself is double dumb. But I've done it for years. Until finally, my body just started shutting down. My mind had already shut down. I mean, I couldn't function beyond basics. And it's hard to be able to talk to people when you're on the stage about being broken.
Come on now, come on.
But you need to know today I don't have that issue. My whole purpose in it was to pursue a level of freedom not yet known. When you're trapped and the enemy thinks that he has you, you have to step back and dig deep within yourself and trust your God in a way that you probably never have before, because we're human just like anybody else. So it's very difficult for me to be able to walk away, but I have to walk away from everything because it's better to walk away than to be carried away. And now I stand here as a living testimony that to anybody, that if you're at a breaking point, okay, stop, look and see what you need to do to take care of yourself. Be honest with yourself, because you only have one life. And I don't intend to have a victorious life when I get to heaven. I want to have a victorious life, right? And that's what it's all about. You know, it's all about it. So I didn't have an option, and it was hard. I should have done it 2 years ago. But I kept pushing myself, And so I encourage you. I also say to you, too, that what you do, because somebody asked me, and they said, why don't I have, a pastor's appreciation service and all things like that. I've done that. And for me, this is just me. And you can take it and tell it any way you want to. But for me, we spend too much time focusing, right, on the man instead of the body. And so a long time ago, when we started with this ministry, I know. Now, I've learned how to thank you. Thank you for hanging in there while I've been out. Thank you to all of our deacons and to our ministers who were called upon to serve. All of our team has been working on various different things while I've been out. And I had to step back. And they've had to work and look at some things without any input from me. Because I can pick up anything. Right. Couldn't pick up anything, But it's better to do it like that so that now I can run with it. That was the whole purpose. And there were times I didn't know if I'd be able to come back. I really didn't. And I think that's the reason why, like in this teaching that I'm doing right now about developing as a believer, it is essential. I was talking to someone and they were, people have this crazy thing that when you go through problems, something wrong with your faith. And I told them my faith is the only thing that kept me from not completely being insane. The doctors and people looked at me like, how have you managed this long and still be functioning at all? And I know it's because of my faith. That's it. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have left sometimes. Is your faith. So with that in mind, thank you. Now we got that over. I've been appreciated. I'm ready to finish my little message and get into the Word of God. And let me say one more thing. If you know a pastor, if you are friends with minister, anybody that, pray for them. Say kind words to them. There's a lot. You can come to church and then decide next Sunday you're not coming. No more. I don't have that option. The only option I have, if I do that, is to quit. Now, I'm not talking about taking off. Okay. I'm talking about walk away. Because the way the Lord works, when God clearly shows you something you have to do, okay? He may not show you everything you're going to do, but he will show you that you're going to do it. And that's why I say it's a labor of love. Being a believer is a labor of love. And if you really think about it, when we go into our teaching right now, one of the challenges we have is loving ourselves so our hearts can be open enough to love somebody else. Amen. And a believer should never have a closed heart and a closed mind. But I can tell you right now, there's so much pain in this room. There's so much of us that need a whole different level of healing. Full of things that we've never talked about. And shame and guilt and anger and frustration. All those things. And the only way we get better is to address it. The only way things change is when we face that on. A believer should never be easily intimidated and afraid. And the challenge is how do you be forceful and humble? How do you be powerful, right? Without being what? Arrogant. It's a tremendous challenge to find that point of balance. That's what I want to deal with for a few minutes here and kind of finish out. Go back to Colossians chapter 3, and you don't have to stand. I'm just going to read and keep on talking, okay? Because I really want to get into the teaching just for a few minutes, and then we can finish the bulk of it on next week, the Lord's will. So Colossians chapter 3. Verse 12. Colossians 3, verse 12. Oh, you don't have to stand up. Vanessa, you don't have to stand up. Too late, you already up. Verse 12, you got it? Amen. God has chosen you and made you his holy people. So write this down. I'm designed, okay? My design is to be different. But that's because, okay, I'm an original. All right. And when you enter a relationship with the Lord, okay, remember I was talking about there's a lot of things that have to be filtered. There's a lot of things that are there. And one of the things is the Word of God. The Word of God becomes a filter, and it becomes what? My comparison sheet. Okay? Because it starts teaching me what I'm supposed to look like. Jesus' power was that he exemplified what Adam had. Okay? His original position. That's what he exemplified. In his faith, his trust, his love for God, his relationship with God, that was Adam. The difference between Jesus and Adam is one failed, the other one didn't. Okay? And that's how he secured us. Holiness means wholeness. And the reason why I struggle is because of the fact that the Spirit of God starts bringing in what is normal. Okay? Or this is how God made me to be. God didn't make me to be stressed and angry and frustrated and full of hatred and all those things. That's the reason why those things tear me down. He didn't design me. I'm not designed for illness. Any of those things. I'm designed to be full of love and health and all those things. What we see in our world is a result of being away from God.
Come on now.
And God could have just said, everybody be healthy. No, what he did was, the most important thing to God was to bring us back to him. Okay? That's what he did first. He can do our bodies and he can do all that later. The most important thing was to close the gap. You can be in perfect health and be separated from God, right? And be what? Dead. So the most important thing is when my life, because of his presence, starts changing, that creates a problem. That's what Romans chapter 7 is about. When I would do good, evil is present on every hand. And it's not talking about external evil, it's talking about internal evil. You do know we have evil in us. Okay, well, I'm the only one. Don't leave me out there like by myself again, okay? I have evil in me. Evil thoughts. There's so many things that are wrong with me. Okay? Now, and he says, but God calls me to be holy. What God calls me to do is to be whole. When I am whole, the term holiness, right, is opposite of the term sin. The term sin, hamatia, means to be separated. Then this term whole, okay, has to do with my spirit, pneuma, which means what? The very air, the breathe, the spirit, right? Because I got to realize what I am. I'm a spirit in a body. But my body's been calling the shots because my spirit has really been dormant, trying to scream and operate, and it hasn't been able to do it. When I'm born again, the Spirit of God, now working with my spirit, is working to get me into order, right? As a spirit being, not as a physical being first. You with me? Yes. I learned how to be a physical being first, then think of spiritual. Yes. That's the reason why the enemy can get us to do stuff like worship rocks. Look at the history of man and look at all the things that man has worshipped that don't make sense. Oh, no. Because when your spirit is not connected with God's spirit, right, you're doing it out of the mind, out of the body. The Bible calls it the flesh. When I'm doing it out of the flesh, it is none of God. It is none of God. That's why God, when I'm operating out of the flesh, will let me fall flat on my face. And then I go, well, God, where are you? God doesn't operate in that arena. Because when I operate in my flesh, I've made a decision. That's what I'm going to do. Come on. I've done it, right? Okay? So, and the reason why I want to deal with that, because what people will say to you is when you have a bad moment or have things going on wrong in our lives, what's the first thing that people say, especially not believers? Oh, I thought you were a Christian. Oh, I thought you were so believer. I am a believer. That doesn't mean I don't have some messed up parts. Can you imagine what would happen, right? The Old Testament is an example and teaches that if every time I messed up, I had to go take something to God and sacrifice it. I'd live over there. I'd just be going buying the ram and bringing the ram back. That'd be my job. Buying whatever it was and bringing it back over there, right? I never could get out of it. That's the cycle we would be in if it weren't for Jesus Christ. So Jesus came, died one time, one sacrifice, okay, and it's what? Done. Oh, man, when you get that in your spirit, you talk about freedom is over. Don't let people tell you you're still trying to work out your salvation. That's done. What you work is my life to become balanced, to become like Him, to have the old stuff go out and the new stuff come in. Get out of my old way of thinking and behaving and to start acting like the child of God that God has made me be. To stop being a child and start being a man. That's my challenge. That's the reason why it doesn't do you any good. If somebody at this particular point in their lives is not connected with God, stop badgering them, stop talking bad about them. And once you are in alignment all the time, that's an individual journey. That's independent right there. You can't make somebody believe. I don't care how much you want them to believe. You can't make them believe, but don't let their disbelief change what you believe and bring you down to their faith. So holy, whole. I'm no longer fractured all the way. And think of a puzzle when you first start putting together. Pieces are everywhere, right? That's the way most of us look when we come to Jesus. We got the picture on the box, but we don't look nothing like the picture on the box. And then God started moving one piece at a time. I don't know about you, but when I put a puzzle together, I got to do the border first. Y'all not listening. I got to get an outline first. So then I have colors on the outside to help me. And then I start moving pieces that look like together, right? Because by the time we finish, all the pieces ought to be there, right? But I don't know about you, but God still is putting some pieces in my life together, and I don't have it all straight right now. And the truth of the matter is, you don't either. So I shouldn't be critical.
Come on.
You need to go to church. No, you need to take care of your business.
Come on, tell it.
If you take care of yours and you line you up and you become the powerful believer that you can, you be an example. You don't have to tell them nothing. You will look up one day and they'll be sitting in church and they'll beat you here because they have seen a living example of what it means. That's to be holy.
That's all right.
That's what it means. It doesn't mean better than, it means different from.
Come on, Pastor.
I wish I had time to. We're so uptight and uppity. I mean, not here, but at that other church. We're uptight, uppity, frustrated about every little bitty thing. You know, I was telling somebody, I said, whoo, man, this is a mess right now. Coming after the election. I have not lost not one night's sleep. Hold on, let me tell you why. Right? The same God right, that was there when Obama was there, all the way back to George Washington, is the same God that's there, that Trump is there, and I'm not going to lose sleep. And I'm going to say this. What always blew my mind is why God would choose me. And I've been cover to cover. And I keep coming up with the same answer. He loves me. And you'll find that folk will come after you when God loves you. Because when God loves you, right, I don't care how bad you mess up, if you belong to Him, you can find yourself in trouble. But I promise you, at the right time, not when you want Him, but at the right time, God will come in and get you and pull you out. And I don't know about you, I always felt like I was not lovable. So when I became a believer, the hardest thing for me to be able to really believe was that God loved me. But it says right there, He did it because why? He loves you. Everybody in here needs love.
Amen. Amen. That's right.
But everybody in here can't give it and don't know how to receive it. One of them. We've been so hurt by, I had to tell a young lady once, she said, I done gave up on love because love and hurt. I said, no, them men that you've been with have hurt you. Because love ain't hurt you.
Tell it.
Y'all not listening to me at all. Y'all not listening to me at all. Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous. Love does not brag. Love is not overly proud. Love is not rude. Love is not selfish. Love does not get upset with others. Love does not count up wrongs. In other words, it don't keep a list of everything that you've done to me. Y'all not listening. Love makes no pleasure in evil. Accepts all things. Love always trusts, always hopes, and always endures. Love never ends. So if somebody ended it, that means they were never in it in the first place. Not when it comes to love. Is anybody listening to me today? When it comes to love. I'm talking unconditional love. When it comes to that, that means I accept you, the good and the bad. Hold on. Okay? And my measuring stick, right, is going to let me know if we're going to stay together, right? Because if we identify it ain't working, but you don't try to change it, right? I'm going to let you mess up my love, right? But you don't want to do what's... I'm going to get in trouble, but I do not care. I ain't spinning my wheels if you don't want to do better. But don't blame it on love. Blame it on lazy, blame it on hurt, blame it on whatever. Don't blame it on love. Okay? Now, why is that important? Because we have a twisted view of God's love. We try to make God's love like people love. If God's love was like people love, none of us would be here today. Except for people. I mean, nobody. Even those of you who are so self-righteous to your feet don't stink. If does not, you wouldn't be here either. Because God's love is pure. That's what the cross was about. The cross was about pure, unchangeable. The word unseen means unchangeable love. No matter what, how they beat Jesus down, and he never changed his mind about how much he loved the Father, and that means he had to love us because the Father loved us, and the Father was in him, and he was in the Father. That's what John chapter 17 is all about. I in them, and you in me, and I'm in you, that we may be one, that no matter what the enemy does, the enemy shall never be successful. Because we all connected. That's love. You can't tell me you love me and then leave me hanging. And one of the ways the enemy works amongst us so easy is because we have emotional caring, not deep-seated love.
Come on, tell it, Pastor.
It's deep-seated love. Anybody that's against you is against me.
Come on.
I mean, on the same team, right? So, if we get with this twisted view of love, we think that God loves us on and loves us all. God loves us when we're doing good and don't like us when we're doing bad. That's what the Word of God teaches.
That's right.
It says once I'm born again, right? Now, he already knew who I was, what I was going to do before I was even born, but he still let me come into the kingdom. You think he spent time trying to kick me out if he knew all of that and still let me in?
Thank you, Lord.
No, he wouldn't. But now that I'm in, my challenge is with myself.
Yes.
Now, yo, did you hear what I just said?
Amen.
My challenge is with who? Who's messed up?
Me.
Who is my problem?
Me.
My major issue is
Me.
not you. As a matter of fact, okay, write this down. The more you focus on other folk, the less you focus on yourself. And that delays, right, your spiritual development as a person. Okay? That's the reason why he didn't say don't care. You got to be careful how you care. God, I wish I got good. Okay? He loves you, and you should always clothe yourselves now. And he starts talking about the attributes, okay, of God. Okay? Now, what makes it different, okay, and difficult for me, okay, is I get to see these things, but only in a twisted way. For example, look at the first one says is mercy. Okay? But I see more vicious folks than I see merciful people. You know what mercy is? Mercy is holding back what someone deserves. My heart is so empathetic to the situation until they did me wrong, whatever, but or they're whatever the case may be, and instead of pouncing on them,
Come on now.
I hold back.
Yeah.
I got every right to hit him in the throat with a sack of meat. Just stab him in the throat. But I hold back. I don't hold back because I can't hit him. I hold back because they gonna fit anyway. But I want him to treat me like I'm gonna treat them. Because last time he wanna hit me in the throat too. That's why Jesus said, do unto others, he would have to do unto you. So however you want to God, I can tell if you love God how you treat me. I don't know about you, but there's some folks that I've been around, they must hate God. So they can't stand me. They're so mean and frightful. I mean, just hateful. And we'll sing every song. Don't tweet it. Don't tweet it out. I ain't finished, right? Know every scripture. That's why they shout so much. They got so much hell in them until when they come in the church, they gotta shout because they can't sit still. When they got at this church, look at the other church. I'm trying to get to a good place, okay? So he starts talking about, okay, the attributes of God. Now, write this down. If I, okay, let these become real in my life, watch this. These are my keys to freedom.
Amen.
It's going to happen automatic. I'm going to become free. To be merciful, right, comes from a kind heart. I didn't say a weak one. I said a kind one. Most of us think kindness is weakness. No, it's not. Okay. And when I'm kind and I do things, okay, humility is power under control. That's what humility is. Okay, I got the power. I'm just exercising it and using it a different way. Okay. Watch. And then gentleness. I saw, and every time I see this, but I saw this young man in the store. I can't remember if it was Walmart. I think it was Walmart.
Probably.
Y'all see what I mean? That's my mom. God had to know somebody to preach in family. Pastor or heathen, somebody had to come preach the word of God and get saved, right? And she's going to talk about probably. What she's saying is, I'm always in Walmart. Yeah, I am always in Walmart or thank you. Right, but they don't sell groceries over at Macy's or wherever, okay? I likes to eat. But the baby was being a child. Crowded store, right? Everybody's coming through, running around, you know, and I'm just trying not to cuss. Yeah, y'all gonna tell people your pastor has some problems, okay? Because I had already said, if one more person hit me in the butt with their basket, I'm gonna turn around and I am not gonna pray for them. It's gonna be all right. And all of a sudden I look up and the baby was trying to make the way through, and he was telling me, come here, come on, right? And I'm telling the baby, hurry up, baby, hurry. And as the baby gets closer, reaches over, grab the baby by the back of the head and push the baby. Just start pushing.
Oh, yeah, boy.
So, what happened to gentleness? And all I could see, outside of wanting to hit him in the face with a sack of nickels, all I could see was that little boy doing the same thing. To his child. Because that would come, if he did it in the store, he's doing it at home and everywhere else, right? Watch me. That has become that baby norm. You know why we so messed up? Because some folk have taught us some bad norms. And to wreck that stuff is to become free. Free from the one that enslaves you. Free from yourself who's been acting on it. And free from the world who criticizes you about it. When I break that stuff, they lose the power over me. I empower myself, and I take the power away from the people that handed me that generational curse. That's why we're so bound up. We don't know how. I just told you how. When I practice these until they become a part, ingrained in my spirit, these are the things my spirit loves. When I practice them, my spirit gets stronger, brings my mind under captivity, shuts my body down, and puts it into acting like it's supposed to act. Can I give you an example? Right? When you've been not loved, right, growing up, right, you look for love from so many different sources. But once God loves you, and you know what love really is, that changes the way you look at everybody and everything. And all of a sudden you realize you might be lonely, but you're not alone. Anybody? You got that holler back in there. You might be lonely, but you're not alone. I had to let somebody know this. You're just so you're alone. I said, no, I'm not alone. I'm never alone. I might get lonely sometimes, right? But I'm not alone. You know how I know that? I was laying in bed one night, tossing and turning, and I was sick, and I called on the name of Jesus. And before I knew it, he had rocked me to sleep like a little bitty baby. I'm never alone. Even when I'm messing up. Can I get an amen? Even when I'm messing up, he's still there. Yes, he is. And they'll tell me, you really don't have to do that, but
Come on, Pastor.
you really ought to let that alone. You should get away from that. I keep on going.
Keep on going.
And he steps back. Lets me fall head first. Okay? Then come back and does what? Gets me up. See, I told you. Because that's what love is. Here's the last one I want you to write down. Okay? Without love, there is no unity.
Yes, good. That is so good.
I don't care how much we come in here and sing together and pray together and hold hands together. Without love, there's no unity.
That's right.
Okay? That not only applies to this house, it applies to your house. Graham and I were talking in the barbershop yesterday, and it was like so many families we were talking about that don't celebrate each other anymore. Got all this stupid stuff in the way, so we ain't celebrating that, and I had to let them know because they were like, well, I said, no, I don't celebrate Christmas. I celebrate family. Because there were so many years the enemy kept me away from everybody, including family. So now I'm just happy to be in my right mind to be able to go around family. Y'all hear what I'm saying? And my family knows, because I've already told them, all right? If you could love me here, but I can see you and feel it and talk to it, right? You think you're going to run down to the stage and when I die in my service and stand up here and talk about how much you love me? The devil is a lie. That ain't never going to happen. can't tell me now, if you can't say I'm sorry now,
Go ahead.
if you can't correct the mess now, it's too late after I'm gone. Without love, there is no unity. The reason why is because unity has to have a common source,
Come on now.
a point of connection.
Come on, Pastor. What is that? Tell us about this.
Love.
Yes.
Love. I've learned, okay, there are two kinds of love, basic. Okay, there are three major. Eros, okay, Filio, and agape. Agape is heart-filled God love. Philios is friendship. Eros is erotic love, sexual. Okay? Many of us mess up because we think Eros is agape. That's next week. Because if I get into that, we will be here till 3 o'clock. Okay. And that in the center is one that is crucial, is friendship.
Yeah. That friendship. Uh-oh.
Friendship. Two in the same ship. Moving in the same direction.
Yeah.
That nothing can get between them. It's better to be friends with somebody. Friends are loyal, trustworthy, ride or die. Now, can you imagine if you were married to your friend? Watch that. Now, why is that important? One of the greatest places for the enemy to work, okay, I'm done, is in the hotbed of not being loved and not being cared. As soon as the enemy hears nobody cares about me out of our mouths, he's there. That darkness of depression comes.
Yes.
Because I'm designed to be loved.
Right.
I'm designed to be held.
That's right.
I'm designed to be encouraged, to be appreciated. I'm not designed to be abused and left by myself. I'm designed to be full and not empty.
Go ahead.
So when I find myself like that, the enemy comes in and fills every empty space,
Say that.
right, with destruction.
That's good, Pastor.
And watch. And that keeps me from being whole. See where I just came back to? It keeps me from being whole. Watch. Every time you get stronger, right? Watch the enemy come in into that little bitty hole and break it up. So you start feeling all disjointed again. Every time. Every time. Do you know why? Because when you and I become whole, we are dangerous. When you're whole, you ain't got to call 19 people to pray for you. You can kneel down before God or wave your hand before God, talk to the Father with boldness and assurance, and watch all of heaven pay attention. But when we are weak and intimidated, then we're not sure. That's why it's so important in this teaching that he's talking about before I can be a victorious vessel, I got to focus on me, becoming free. That's got to be my first pursuit, becoming free. My first. I'll tell anybody, you ought to be running around trying to do the whole bunch of church stuff in the church so you free.
Come on now.
Unless you're going to sit down and let somebody serve you. I know what it feels like to be a bound leader.
Come on.
Trying to lead other people and you are broken down to the base element. Encourage others and you are suicidal. And the enemy keeps right on working. Because you know he's about to push you off the edge.
Hallelujah.
But love will catch you right when you're standing there. Looking where you're going to fall and pull you back from the edge. And say, no, not today. I've got more in store for you and you will not. Because I know some of us, just about every day, you're going to think. There's so much pressure from so many different ways and places. Don't let folks put you under pressure ever again. If you're going to feel it, feel it from God. How close are you to being where you want to be? Every breath could be your last. How close are you to being where you want to be? I mean, where you want to be as a person. Mind, body, and spirit. Because that's got to be your pursuit. All those other things, God will add them to you. But I got to start where? At home. While they're coming, I just want you to think about that. Where am I? Where am I? We're not talking about anybody else right now. Where are you? What's missing in your life? What's holding you back? I don't know what the answer is, but I know who's got it. God does. And the question is do you trust enough to ask for his help, to give it to him?